Welcome to the Brew. It's the Lex Factor today. Today we have our special guest, Robert Grzesik from Lumiwealth. He's going to tell us a little bit about algos and algo trading, I believe, but let's get it from him after the opening bell. We have a little lead in, Rob. Little lead in.
I love the intro. That's fantastic.
Right?
Great production there.
Yeah. How are you, man? Good to see you. This is awesome. I'm so excited. Look at your new little bungalow out in Malibu somewhere. I love it.
Yeah. This is definitely my real house, right?
Well, that's great to see you finally. I know we've chatted a bit about getting together here, so I'm excited. I think generally, and more than generally, the audience loves the kind of stuff you're going to talk about. They love this algo thing. Algo makes them feel smart. At least I feel it makes me feel smart. I don't know. If I said I'm an algo trader, oh, that guy's really smart. Go figure, right?
Well, it's definitely a lot of people using your platform specifically for algos. Like we specifically used a set of Tradier because you guys are very good at this, more than any other broker that I know of. You know?
Yeah, thank you. So tell us a little about yourself. How'd you get in this whole gig? Tell us about Lumiwealth first, and then I think you're going to show us some things on the platform, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So maybe I could tell you a quick background about myself. Mm-hmm. I've been programming like my entire life. Basically, I was like 12 years old when I started. I did my master's of finance, and then I moved to New York after selling my first company. Got some money, moved to New York City, and worked on Wall Street for a while. So we started a bunch of really good companies out there, one of which maybe your audience probably heard of. Actually, Greystone, one of them, if you're in commercial real estate. But the audience that is listening here probably has heard of Voyager. Actually helped found that company. It became worth $3 billion at one point in time. It was basically a crypto trading app like Coinbase. And after going through that, had a bunch of cash, and we're like, what should we work on? And the next logical thing that I believe is going to be huge in the trading world is already starting to happen is algo trading, right? Okay. When we started this business about 5 years ago, it was still kind of a newer thing. Not too many people are doing it, but every year more and more people are getting into it. And I think that has a lot to do with AI, making it more accessible, platforms like yours that are making it easier for people to actually trade. Sure. And then hopefully companies like ours that are facilitating that whole process, right? Teaching people how to do it, and actually providing code and community and things like that to make it easier to build this stuff. Yeah.
And that's what Lumiwealth is doing, right? Is it the community building as well?
So Lumiwealth, we do a bunch of things. We started off as purely an education company. This is partly because we started around the pandemic, and education was a huge hot topic around there. But it's really hard to build these trading algorithms. We wanted to start somewhere. So we started off as just teaching people how to do this. We've gotten quite good at it over the years. It's been 5 years now we've been doing that. And now we have a lot of algorithms that people can just borrow from us, use from us. We have a lot of code that they can use. We have a big community of people that are doing this sort of thing and have some pretty amazing results as well. So we started off as an education company, and we're slowly moving more towards the fintech type thing to just allow people to directly trade, right?
All right, awesome. So I have a lot of questions, but let's go backwards a second. Back to your background. So you said you worked on Wall Street. Did you say Greystone Trading?
Not Greystone Trading, but it's a mortgage company.
Okay. Because there's a Greystone Trading on like Instagram that's around trading. You know what I'm talking about? I mean,
I have not heard of Greystone's Trading, but it doesn't surprise me because anything with like stone and a color.
Okay. All right. I thought that was it. Right? Strike that, reverse it. Okay. Got it. And you worked at Voyager, you said. Great. And now you're into this algo thing. Okay, good. The algo thing is interesting. For the retail trader, here's my biggest beef about retail trading. Okay. And you're solving the problem. My biggest beef about retail trading, I come from the listed world. I was a market maker. So I bought bids and sold offers nonstop all day, every day. That is not a trading strategy. That is providing liquidity. Retail traders need an idea generator. They need a reason to do something. And if they don't have a reason to do something, they do stupid things. And when you do stupid things, you'll lose a lot of money. So I am all in favor of really good algo trading. So I'm really excited to hear about this. Do you agree with anything I said? You obviously agree with it because you're building a company around it, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you very much. And actually, I'd say probably one of our core selling points is exactly that, right? That a lot of people, they just don't know what to do. And that's kind of the main thing about trading. It's like, how do you make money? What is your edge, right? And we've actually addressed that in several different ways. For one, we have this class that we do on Tuesday nights. We're probably going to do it more often because there's such a high demand for it.
Sure.
We call it our live algo building sessions. Right. Nice. So what that allows people to do is if you're not a programmer, right, because a lot of people, it's kind of still difficult to code these things, right? It's not easy to make your own algorithms. You have to be a pretty good coder for that. Sure. So we want to bridge the gap between people who have really good ideas and people who are very good coders. So we get those two people and we put them in a room, right? So basically we'll have people join up into our plans and say they'll have some good idea, some strategy they've been trading for a while or something they want to test out. They'll join our Tuesday classes, our live building sessions, and they'll say, well, can we try this? Can we try that? And on the other end is a person who's actually building the algorithm, right? The past couple months has been myself, but we're actually hiring more staff to do this. We just hired a new person, Jack, who's going to be helping out with this. He's like a coder from Silicon Valley. Really, really smart guy. So you put him in a room with a bunch of really good traders. The traders basically say, well, what if we tried this? What if we tried that? The coder's building it, right? And showing you, okay, and according to our back tests, this is what would have happened. This is what would have happened. And this way, we're constantly producing new ideas. This is what makes us very different from a lot of these other, algo trading courses or whatever out there, is this community of people that's just constantly building new things and generating new types of strategies.
Right. I love it. I love it. So, interestingly, I spent the latter part of my active trading career in the algo business, and I'm not a coder; I'm a trader, right? So I'm that dude. What I found to be difficult, and answer as you will, I found to be difficult is the greatest coders in the world, if they don't have some sort of, let's call it, financial background. I'll just use that as a general catch-all term to understand what we traders are saying. You get into a bypass, a roadblock sometimes. Do you find that to be true, or do your coders really understand options and stocks and cryptos and all that stuff? What have you found?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Learning finance is just as difficult as learning coding, in my opinion.
100%.
They're both very, very difficult things. So the coders that we have, they do have a finance background, right? Not necessarily, they went to school for it or whatever. Sure. But they have been trading for some time and they have been building algorithms already. So it's not like they're fresh to this. But further than that, I would say it's almost impossible to know every nuance of every part of finance, right? There's so many little details. Like for example, we'll do a bunch of different things on options. And man, I have a master's in finance. I've been doing this stuff for 15, 20 years. I still, to this day, I'm like, what are you talking about? Some crazy new idea that people have. Right. So it's always learning. So the way that we get around this is find people that have that basic background and in finance and a good background in coding. But then also when you put them in a room live together, that's when the magic happens, right? Because I find that a lot of people, they'll want to build an algorithm and they'll basically find some coder, tell them to do X, Y, Z. And we used to do this too, by the way. We used to, have people come over, write out a spec sheet of what he wants to do, and then we'll disappear for a couple hours and come back. That just doesn't work that well, right? What we found works a lot better, is when we get them live in a room together. And that's what this Tuesday class or live building sessions are, 3-4 hours together. The person's coding, AI has gotten good enough. And if you have a good enough coder, you could actually code on the fly.
Wow.
And then the person says, oh, what if you try this? Modify it on the fly, run it, see what happens, right? And we're going through this process together, right? Sure. Instead of here's a bunch of specs, build it for me. It's more like, let's go through this process together. We'll try this. Okay, that didn't work the way we expected. What if we tried this? What if we, it's not doing this. Like all these little nuances that you catch when you do it together live. Right. And that's really
interesting. Yeah. So you're like in sort of a workshop environment of sorts, right?
Yep.
Is how it plays out. I love it. I love it. So have you, when they build these out, when someone builds these algorithms, you mentioned the word community. Is there sharing of algorithms in the, or selling? Maybe it's not sharing, maybe it's selling. Do you have a community where someone creates this wonderful algorithm and says, wait, maybe I'll just sell this? And then my next question is going to be, if my algorithm's so good, why the hell am I selling it? I'll use it for myself. So, you know what? Go screw yourself. You're not getting my algorithm. I'm going to use it.
Yeah, those are fantastic questions. I hear those all the time. So to answer your first point is, yes, we do some selling of them. So specifically, we have plans. We have 3 different plans. If you go to our website, we can talk about that. But basically, if you join, our Pro plan or All Access plan, whatever higher tiered plans, you get access to our whole library of algorithms, all the stuff that we've ever built over the course of 5 years. It's a lot of code that people can play with. If you're a developer, it's fantastic for that. You have tons of code to play with. If you're a trader, we make it very easy to install, run, and configure. That's very important too. You can specifically make this tailored to what you want it to do. Trade, change the symbols, change your stop loss, change whatever, right? It's very easy to do that, right? So if you pay us this monthly fee, you're part of that pool of people that we're constantly adding to this library. Every Tuesday, we finish this class, we add some new features, we'll update it. You can get all those updates, so it's constantly evolving. But beyond that, we also have some people from the community that do contribute as well. They'll say, "Oh, I fixed a bug. We'll add that in." Or I have this one person, for example, came up with a new idea. He wanted to add it to our community because there is a benefit of putting this into a community, because then you have people tear it apart. Right. Like if you have something that's working phenomenally from the beginning, I can see you being a little bit more nervous about it. But if it's something brand new that you made, it seems to be doing pretty well, you don't know, it's good to have the community look over it and say, well, I can make it better by doing X, Y, and Z. And let me run it live and see what happens, and all these different things that you can pick it apart, right?
Love it.
So we do have that, and something that we're actually working on building as well is like a marketplace, right? Because a lot of people have asked this, right? Like, well, what if I have an algorithm, I want to sell it, right? Right now it's part of that community, but what if you want to sell that separately? One of my clients, for example, wants to do that. He wants to charge a couple, $100 a month for his specific algorithm that they've made. And they'll make money off of that. So, and I guess the secondary question is, why the heck would someone do that if it's something that makes so much money?
Right.
Well, the thing is that assumes you have a lot of capital to put in, right? Let's say you have an algorithm that can make, I don't know, 5-10% a month or something, right? That's quite a nice return, right? You might say, well, I'll just keep that to myself and I'll make a bunch of money. And that's cool. If you have $1 million, sure, you can make a good money, right? But a lot of these people, they're coders, they're not multimillionaires, right? If they had that money, they probably wouldn't be spending so much time coding, right? So there you have this community and this marketplace that happens, right? You have people with money that could come in and pay them to license that algorithm, give them capital to put back into their algorithms and make money, right? Whereas the programmer guy, he's probably not someone who's a multimillionaire, right? Usually not. Sometimes they are, right? But usually not. So they get now money to be able to reinvest as well, right?
Got it. I love it. Okay, good. I still have more questions, but is it better to go to the screen now and show some stuff? You discussed the algo library. I didn't know how specific you want to get there in the back testing and the building sessions. Will we see that here?
Yeah. So this is our website that we're looking at right now. We're having a Labor Day sale right now, but I gave you guys a coupon code that's better than this.
Wait a minute. I'll tell the audience now. You just hold on to your pants, audience, because we got a better one coming. I see it here. Don't worry. All right, good. Go ahead, Rob.
So this is our website. Basically you could scroll through here. You can see kind of what we're up to. Here's a couple back tests of different algorithms that we've been running, right? You could scroll through these, right?
Yep. Sorry, Rob, the details of its success or failure, for that matter, some don't always work. They're available there. I'm trying to look at this quickly. Sorry. So, and someone's going to go through and say, hey, this fits my personality, my capital, usage, blah, blah, blah. I want to try this one. Is that kind of how it can work?
Yeah. So we're working on right now having a little thing. I don't know why this isn't scrolling for me. Probably because
we're seeing it scroll. Yeah.
Oh, you're seeing it scroll? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we are. Yep.
Yeah, so we actually have a few here on, scrolling left and right. That's not.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
that yet. Okay.
Yeah, but there's usually a bunch on our website that you can see, and you can flip through and say, okay, this one has this kind of return, right? We're actually working on a little thing that you can actually sort and filter, because we have so many of them. We have like literally 100 different algorithms that you can use, right? Here's kind of our headline ones. This one's really interesting. It has a pretty crazy looking back test, 1,000% a year.
Wow.
This is some of them actually running. Again, I can't flip through them. This is like one of our rolling calls, for example. So you can see a bunch of that on our website. We're actually going to be adding more and making it easier for you to click on it and then, sort them, filter them. We're going to have that whole thing.
Yep. So let me ask a question real quick. So can you go back up? So let's say we get to the rolling one here, the option rolling call. This is a algorithm, right? An algorithm. Okay. Lex wants to buy this, use this, whatever he wants to do with it. He wants to employ this. What do I do? How do I do that? I know there must be a monthly fee to be a subscriber, right?
Yes. Yeah. So you would subscribe to one of our plans. So when you scroll down here, these are our plans. We have our starter, pro, all access.
Got it.
That one in particular, most of our algorithms are under pro.
Okay.
Right? So if you subscribe to a pro or all access, you'll get access to our whole library.
Okay.
Our starter plan is really just, we'll give you 2 or 3 kind of basic ones. One that actually I've been using for a while, made me quite a bit of cash. So there is still some pretty good stuff in starter, but really the meat of it is in the pro plan or the all access plan.
Okay.
Right. And when you sign up to one of these, you're going to get access to that Tuesday class I was telling you about, the live building sessions. So if you have a bunch of ideas or you want to see other ideas, that's a great way to do it through the pro plan. But then also in this pro plan, we're going to help you get set up with these algorithms. You're going to be given a person who's actually going to walk you through this, get everything set up. So if you're not a technical person, that's fine. There'll be someone on the phone walking you through the whole process.
Got it.
And then you're going to get access to our whole library of algorithms. So here is our algorithm library. Right? Okay. So in here, we have quite a few different algorithms. You can see we have ones using condors, iron condors. We have rolling EMA spreads. We have diversified leverage. We have a bunch of different algorithms that do all sorts of different things, right? Some of them are going to make more money in calm market conditions. Some of them are going to make more money in volatility, some bear market, some bull market.
Sure.
But let's say we go into one of them. Here's our condor martingale. This one's been a pretty popular one of ours.
Yep.
This is something that you'll get access to if you're a part of the pro plan. You can go through here. This is all the code if you care. But if you're a non-technical person, you can go right down to the bottom. You can see the back test of this. Okay. So here's one of the specific configurations of this, and you can play with it. Actually, there's a lot of different configurations we have. I'll show you that in a second. Here's one of them. When we back tested it, we got 144% a year, only a 12% drawdown over this time period, which was from 23 to 24. Kind of just a bit of a shorter back test, but interesting results. And then we also have a bunch of different configurations. So if you go into here, these are back tests of our different configurations. There's version 1 all the way up to version 14 in here.
Got it.
Right? So, for example, here is version 14 of that same algorithm.
Right.
It's just we changed up some of the settings. Here's we use a different delta. We'll trade a different quantity. We'll have a different stop loss. Right. All those things are going to change this. So let
me jump in. Question. Because the reason I'm jumping in here about option condors, you picked a good one. I'm not sure you planned this because we didn't talk about this. But this advent, it's not really an advent, but I'll use the word anyway, of zero DTE. We have a lot of traders trading SPX, the zero DTEs. They you know why? Retail traders, pay me now, baby. I want my money now, right? So they love this stuff. Are you finding that you're having some SPX, XSP, zero DT spiders for that matter, players in the option condor space? Are they using this a lot?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's basically what this is.
Wonderful.
Or at least the settings here. You could change it if you want to, but this is using days to expiry of 1.
Okay.
Right. So it's buying a condor that expires the next day. So it buys at 3:45 p.m. And then holds it till expiration the next day. So basically, the people on the other end are the people that are playing the zero DTEs and are betting on it's going to go up or going to go down, whatever. You're taking all that premium.
Okay, so are you selling these condors? Or you're on the short side, right? In this version. Yes. Yep. Okay, so an interesting 345, right? I like that because it solves a lot of problems. Okay, What? Problem number one. If you have a smaller account under 25,000, you cannot be a pattern day trader. So now you get to trade this on day 0 and close it. Essentially, if you want to close it, you said you take it to the end. But if you want to close it, you can do that without having a mark on the record of a day trade. Brilliant. Yep. I love it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It gets around the pattern day trading rule. It also sets you up so that you get that benefit of theta, very much so, because you're holding it overnight, and theta decay is the highest at the very end, right? So we actually make a really nice premium off of that. So that's basically what it's doing. You could actually modify that. This is 1545, right? So you could change that if you wanted to. But yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what this is doing. I've ran this with accounts I think as small as like 3,000.
Okay.
Maybe even can work with a smaller account than that.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, that's great. So, and do you use SPX or do you use SPY or?
This is SPY. We do have a version that can use SPX.
And through the modeling, how do you choose strike differentials? Are you always using $5 strikes in SPX, for instance, or do you go to 10? Does it depend on the accounts? It does depend on the accounts, as I know for margin, but what's the optimum? Have you found an optimum with these things, or is it just kind of more of a risk metric?
Yeah, I mean, there are optimums, definitely. Like if you back test all this stuff, you could see that there are optimal solutions to a lot of this stuff. Right?
I got you.
At least historically speaking, right? Whether that's going to be true in the future or not, we'll see. But historically speaking, we could definitely see there's optimum solutions. So we've spent more time on the SPY than on SPX.
Okay.
Just because it allows you to trade with a smaller account size. People like that, right? And also with Tradier, you guys give free trades with SPY.
True.
So that's another huge benefit, right? Because
I got a deal for you. Okay.
Absolutely. It really makes a big difference though, because you're trading condors daily, and this is trading 75 contracts at a time, 75 times 4 for the condor.
Yep.
Right. Times, what is it, 35 cents or 65 cents per contract. That adds up really fast.
That does add up for us. And if you're trading SPY, you don't pay the per contract cost at all. That's eliminated, right? So all of a sudden, you start doing that math, it adds up. You're right. And I'm going to do that math as you're looking at me. That's amazing. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
This is why we love Tradier. Tradier is amazing.
Yeah. People don't understand how commissions add up. And one of the things I've always said on the pro side of the world is that you never want to make a trading decision based on your commission costs, because you'll make a bad one, right? If you can eliminate the commission cost, now you don't have to worry about bad decisions other than you being a dummy. That's it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So all of a sudden we've eliminated one of the barriers with the commission costs. Because I've seen people say, I can't take this off because my commissions are too high. I go, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So
I agree.
That's awesome. I love it. So I understand SPY. Have you tried XSP? Smaller product.
XSP.
So it's a tenth of SPX. It also has European exercise, cash settled. So the good news about all that stuff. Now retail folks don't have to worry about delivery ever in those kind of products. That's why I like those and bring it up. So
yeah, we actually have tried that, but now that you mention it, I'm actually going to put on my to-do list. I want to actually give that a shot again, because we did that a couple weeks ago, part of these like live sessions. Someone brought it up. We were talking about XPS or SPX being you need to put a decent amount of money into it, right?
Sure, you do. Yep.
So we talked about XSP, but we never really went too far down that road. I would actually be interested. We could run a couple back tests.
Sure.
Even tonight, and we could see how that works out.
That'd be great.
I think liquidity is a little better on that as well, right?
Yeah. Let me ask another question relative to this. I'm so fascinated with the on-condor part. So you put these on the night before, 15 minutes ago before the close. I think you said you're gonna typically let these just kind of expire, right? Is that right? Okay.
Correct.
So you're not adjusting these ever. If you hit short strike with the underlying or cash price, whatever we're doing, you're not adjusting. It's just is what it is.
We actually have a setting for that. So here's, for example, actually I don't have them up here, the back test, but I think maybe our 14 or 13 maybe had this. Yeah, so it's not in here. I don't have this prepared for me right now, but we do have ones that have stop losses on them.
Okay.
So it will look at, your cells. And if you approach your cells, like if you hit your cell, that's 100%. If you're, 50% from where we initially got to that cell, that's a 50%. And you could like set that up and you could be like, okay, at a 40%, we do a stop loss, right? At 50%, we do a stop loss, 100%. And then we also have other things that you can configure with it as well. This one's quite sophisticated. We can look at the VIX. That we found to be quite valuable.
Okay.
Because when VIX is high, condors are not going to do very well, right? Usually, right? Especially when you see a spike in VIX, right? That's usually when they get killed. So we have things that are looking out for the VIX absolute levels, minimum and maximum.
Sure.
We have something that we look at the 1 day VIX, which is specifically the VIX. VIX looks over, I think, a 30 or 40 day period.
Yeah, I think it's 30.
1 day is a new index. I don't know if you've heard of that or not, but it's for 0 DTEs specifically. Right. So that's actually a really good predictor we found with some of our algorithms. Cool. And then we also have a thing that looks at the RSI on VIX as well. Right. So if you have an 80 RSI, that means this thing is flying through the roof. That happened. We actually did a really interesting analysis on this. An 80 RSI on the VIX happened about a week or two ago.
Right.
Elections kind of making things go crazy.
Sure.
This happens so infrequently that pretty much every single time that happens, we can see a market crashing, right? Wow. The last time it happened was during COVID. And then before that, I think we saw in 2008. Right. So what's happening right now during these elections is actually extremely unique in terms of volatility.
Interesting.
So we can look out for those things. We can look out for RSI. We can look out absolute values. Like there's a lot you can customize about this thing.
Love it. I love it. Okay, this is awesome. Let's go through the coupon code thing. I see we're getting close to time here, Rob. And guess what? This is like all you can eat. You know why? Because you can come back whenever you want. This is awesome. So, we'd love to have you back.
Absolutely.
Tell us more. This is great. Okay. First of all, we know the starter is a free trial. You talked about Pro being $279, and then all access. Does that mean more access to algos? You get everything on the smorgasbord, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you get more algorithms, but really the main thing they get with the all access from that's different from the Pro is that you get programmers to basically help you out, right? With the Pro plan, we'll help you get set up and that sort of thing. But with the all access, we can actually help you modify algorithms. We can help you build some stuff, right? So you kind of get like developers to actually help you out.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And then you could give them your ideas and they code and all that kind of good stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Got it. And you're integrated at Tradier?
Yep.
And can you place trades on the platform, or do you take the idea and do it somewhere else? You do it right here, right?
So we work with another thing called Replit, right?
Okay.
When people sign up, they'll see this. Basically, it's kind of like AWS or Google Cloud, right? So this is where we run the actual algorithms.
Okay.
If programmers will listen to this, they could run it wherever the heck they want. We suggest this because it's just easier. So we run it on Replit, and then it connects to Tradier.
Oh, I gotcha. So in your own account, you're sort of somehow connected all this if they're using Lumiwealth and off you just do this right in your own account.
Yes, correct.
Awesome. Love it.
So we don't take your API keys. I don't want that stuff, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
You keep
I don't either.
Safe. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Awesome. Okay, good. And is there a special promo that we're gonna throw out there for some folks, or what are we doing?
Yes. So right now we're having a Labor Day sale, which is 50% off our sign-up fee. It's normally $1,000 for a Pro plan. It's knocked down to $500, and we have a 30% off our monthly fee. Normally it's $399 a month. It's $279 right now.
Okay.
But for you guys, we got an even better deal. We have 75% off the sign-up.
What?
Yes. So $750 your viewers will save. It's quite a large sum.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. If they want to get that, they'd go to our website, lumiwealth.com, LUMIW wealth, right? Lumi is illuminate your wealth. That's kind of where it comes from.
Okay.
They'll scroll down to our plans, and then they'll pick one of them. I suggest the Pro plan. It's our most popular. It's basically all the features that we talked about today are in the Pro plan, and you get a really good deal right now. Click on that, learn more. Here's our page, right? Add to cart.
Perfect. Easy enough.
And then here's a space for the coupon code. So you can put in, there's one coupon code for your sign-up fee. So you could do that for 30%. And then the one that we got for your audience is Tradier75.
Got it.
The name of Tradier, Tradier 75. And then they'll enter that coupon in here and they'll get that discount.
Awesome. Okay, good. We will float that across the screen, the Tradier 75 coupon, and all these other details. This is terrific. I love it. Wow, this is great, Rob. Thanks for coming on. This was fascinating. I love this stuff. Really good. Well, I'd love to have you back when Molly gets back to the show. So she's gonna have a million questions for you. It'll be a 2-hour-long extravaganza when she comes back.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. I mean, we talked about one of our algorithms today, right? Like we have literally 100 plus algorithms.
Yeah, that's
so we
awesome.
do all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah.
Do people ever say do people ever run like 5 at a time? You know, they say, I'm going to go nuts. Let's run 5 at a time.
Yep.
Awesome.
There's lots of people that try to do that. I myself am running, I think 30 at a time. Some of them paper, some of them live, right?
Yeah.
But we're constantly going through a process. You know, we back test, then we paper trade. If it does well there, then we trade live. We have a whole thing behind that. But yeah, absolutely. You can run tons of them. You guys are actually quite good about opening up accounts. I have so many accounts with you guys. So, and you guys are very easy with that. Make it easy to reset and everything. So yeah, absolutely. They could run a Condor. They could run a rolling options. They could run stock picking stuff. They could do all sorts of things. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Good. All right. Well, Rob, thanks for coming on. I really want to do this again, and stick around afterwards. Let's chat a little bit after the show and get some more details. Okay. Great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Cheers.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.